You must have seen lots of people say, oh, मैं तो इतना अच्छा काम करता हूँ, but yet God is not kind to me. You must have also heard people say, अरे देखो वो तो बड़े बुरे आदमी हैं, but उनके पास कितना पैसा है, कितनी success है. But we don't know that when the cycle of cause and effect is going to change. Let me start with sharing a story about Mullah Nasruddin. He was an idiot philosopher of Turkey, and he used to make fun of himself, and through that he used to convey lots of great philosophical messages. So it was a deep night, deep dark night, somewhere in the middle of the night. Mullah Nasruddin was looking for something under a street lamp. So some villagers were passing by and they asked, Mullah, what are you doing? He said, I have lost the keys of my house, so I am looking for it. Mullah was a kind man, so they said, okay, let me help you. So these villagers started helping him look for the key. Then some more villagers came. They also started helping Mullah. Then more villagers came, and slowly the entire village came there. And everybody started looking for the lost key of Mullah Nasruddin under the street lamp. And by, the night passed and the sun rose and it was broad daylight. As the daylight came, Mullah left this space. He went to the backyard and he found his key and he said, I found my key. So everybody said, but you knew if your key was in the backyard, why were you looking it here? Mullah Nasruddin said, because the light was here. Now this is a very deep, very interesting, you can find it very funny. This is what we do in life. We normally look for the key of our life, where people say the light is there, go and look for it there. That's why you will find that most of the world is just mimicking and imitating others. So the message of this story is, the three takeaways from this story is that one simple action of yours can trigger multiple actions in groups and people who have no stakes in that business. The second takeaway is that we are all interconnected. Whatever you do is connected to something and then something and something. And the third thing is that most of our lives and most of the people in this world spend their lives reacting to things. We are always reactionary. Very, very rarely we realize that we are here in this world to act and not to react. We react because, I'm sorry, I'm standing in a university, I shouldn't be saying it, because of this mass education system. One size fits all. So everybody is told right from our childhood, when we are 3 or 4 years old, we go 60, 70 kids in one classroom everywhere in the world, taught the same thing, asked to perform the same way, asked to have the same ambition, and all of us ultimately become addicted of salaries, of jobs and security and comfort, and this is the reason why we are always reacting. We are reacting to education, we are reacting to jobs, we are reacting to everything which comes in front of us. Very rarely we act, and by the time we decide to act, it becomes a bit late in life. So like everybody else, I was also looking for my key under the street lamp, which my school, my college, my university, my peer group had told me light is found there, but not mine, somebody else's. I was also full of, my life was in a mess. I was a very ambitious advertising executive, doing very well in life, and just chasing cars and bungalows and success and promotions and money and fame, and of course girls. I was a young bachelor that time. And I was also addicted to lots of bad habits, all the habits were bad, because we were just lying down, watching Netflix to get rid of stress, eating fatty food, doing parties, drinking alcohol, and just wasting our life with bad habits. Yes, there was a lot of success, but that success is visible success. Any success which can be quantified, which is visible, is not success. Definitely it's not success. This is the only parameter to judge what is success. Anything which you can see and quantify, means it can be converted into numbers, is definitely not success. And I was chasing everything which can be quantified. Then one fine day, I woke up and I said, what the hell am I doing with my life? And that's where dominoes effect came into my life, and I realized if domino effect, which is if you have to trigger that, it cannot start outside. You'll find dominoes effect wherever it's taught. I've been to MBA, so in management also, in corporate training also, everywhere they teach you in terms of external. Because this whole world is about external. But success and the most valuable things start from inside. And I said if this dominoes effect has to work, it has to work internally, it has to start inside. And this change came because one day I was screaming at my daughter, her room was in a mess. And I was scolding her that everything is in a mess, your cupboard is in a mess, your room is in a mess, and halfway I stopped. I said, but hang on, my own life is in a mess. Look at the kind of weight I have gained, look at the kind of my sleeping style, sleeping habits, all my habits were in a mess. And that's when I learned the most important lesson of life. Who are we? When you say, I am Vijay, or I am Rahul, or I am Aryan, or I am Ahmed, or I am Vivek, who am I? I am nothing. We are only sum total of our habits, nothing else. Everything else is just a pretense, is just posturing. We are what our habits are. Nobody in this modern world ever attends to important things. We waste our life attending only to urgent things. Because everything is becoming urgent, we are not being able to attend to it. So I said, now this is impossible task. That's why most of the people, when you go home, I'm sure your mother said, clean your cupboard. You start it, but you can't finish it. The reason is because it's huge, it's a big task. So I said, let's break it down into the smallest thing which I can do. Where do I start from? I said, you start, take one day at a time. So I start my day with waking up. So I changed only one habit at that time. I used to wake up at 8, 9, 10, sometimes 4, sometimes 5, anytime, there was no time. I said, from now on, I'm going to wake up at 5 a.m. And it's been many, many years, now 10, 12 years. I started waking up at 5, and by 7, I could finish most important thing of my life, which is reading, updating myself, and researching and writing, which I am a writer, primarily. And then the second thing I attended, it gave me a lot of time. I didn't know what to do from 7 to 8, 8:30, because the whole world was sleeping and I had nobody to talk to. I couldn't even go to office before 9:30, 10. So I said, okay, there's 1 hour, let me just start walking or swimming. So I started doing these two simple things. And when you're walking and swimming, the best thing is your mind goes in all kinds of directions, and ultimately it settles down to introspecting and reflecting on so many things, otherwise you cannot. You are all alone in this world. Or subah ka kuch magic bhi hota, I don't know what happens in the morning, that your mind is very fresh. And that gave me time to organize my life. When you consume lots and lots of oxygen, your body, I don't know why and how, started also talking to you. That's why pranayam, people say, don't do it now, there's a time for that, do other things right now, play. When you play, you consume a lot of oxygen. But then your body starts talking to you. And when your body starts talking to you, that is the real change. Everybody will tell you change your mind, change your thoughts. They will say change spiritually. No, change your body. Everything you do is your body. It's a myth. Mind is also body. Normally what happens, the scam this world runs is that they tell you that body is separate from your mind. That's wrong. An unhealthy body will always have an unhealthy mind. Change your body. It's like your car. I mean, your car can't take you anywhere if it's not in good shape. So once my body started changing, I started moving towards a healthy life. Believe you me, everything in my life changed. Till that time, I used to make these big, huge Bollywood films with big stars, but I was just impressing others. I was telling stories to impress others. And I was run of the mill. I was doing which 1 million people could have done. There was no fulfillment of my purpose in life. So one day I mentally resigned from Bollywood. I said, no way I'm going to work in a system where the creator, the writer and directors come last, and people who have nothing to do with the creation, they come first. So I went and I started teaching, and then came my first film called Buddha in a Traffic Jam. This film got stuck for 6 years. Nobody was willing to release it. And that's one day I said, just because I've shot it in camera does not mean that it must release in theater. What if it's a story, I'm a storyteller, what if I take it to students and start showing to them, and maybe it will start making an impact on them. And once I started doing it, that film slowly found its voice, it became a cult film, it changed the political landscape of India. Some people may like me, not like me, but it did make an impact that nobody can deny. And with the success of that film, lots of publishers asked me to write my experience. I had never ever thought in my life that I would ever write a book. That was never ever part of my vision or dream. I never thought about it. I wrote my first book called Urban Naxals. It became India's most successful non-fiction book ever. It's so big that after 5 years, 6 years, whichever city I go, I had to go and sign that book. Yesterday I was signing in 2 bookstores in Chandigarh. And this book sells like in thousands every month. It's unbelievably successful. Not only that, urban naxals became a legitimate term, and the Home Ministry and the even Supreme Court of India uses those terms today to define internal threat. After that, I made a film called The Tashkent Files. Everybody said this film can never see the day of the light. It was stuck for 2-3 years. Everybody said this film has so many dialogues, it's a verbose film. There are no sets, there is no outdoor location, no actors, no young people, no song, no comedy, no action. And everybody is just talking about the controversial death of the second Prime Minister of India. It was about right to truth. For 3 years it was stuck. Everybody in Bollywood said that nobody knows Lal Bahadur Shastri, why young people will see your film. I said this is exactly why young people will see your film. And believe you me, when the film came, it went on to become the biggest hit of 2018. And not only that, that film won 2 national awards for Best Screenplay and Dialogue. The same thing which everybody said it won't work. And not only that, almost 70% of the audience was young people like you, which everybody had said will never see because nobody knows Lal Bahadur Shastri. See, sometimes I'm talking like a storyteller. Sometimes not telling stories is also part of bad habits. There are so many stories which must be told are not told because they do not have commercial value. That's why the story of Kashmir, it's a very sad commentary. Every Indians, we should die of shame that our own people for 32 years, if there's any Kashmiri Pandit here, you would know that. It's a matter of shame that nobody told their story. We kept telling stories of Kashmir, but in a way as if they never existed. Why nobody said that? Because everybody was scared of terrorists. People thought their life will be endangered, what will happen to their family. But when your life is built on good habits, you find courage. And that's why we made this film called The Kashmir Files. Again, people said there is no star in this film. It's so dark. It's 3 hours long. These days, it's impossible to release a 3 hour long film. It was a 3 hour long film. There was COVID. There were no theaters. So we took this film, we started showing to few people in theater after theater after theater. For 6 months, I kept doing it in America, in Europe, wherever the theaters were open. When the film came, rest is history. It's the biggest blockbuster ever. It did 350 crore rupee business, a 15 crore rupee film. Now I have made a film called The Vaccine War. Nobody after making such a big film, such a big hit, will ever dare to go and make a smaller film. Everybody should make a film with stars, bigger film. That is the formula of success which you'll be taught in your schools and colleges and corporations you will work for. But believe you me, when you listen to your heart and your soul, the dividends are much better and durable. We have made a film called The Vaccine War because I don't think anybody knows who made this vaccine. When we talk about this vaccine which is inside your body, everybody will say Serum or Bharat Biotech. No, this is not correct. This vaccine is made by the scientists of India, and most of them are women. Women who for 7 months did not go home. They used to go for 2 hours in the morning, 7 to 9. They will go there, wash utensils like your mother. Wash utensils, clean the house, look after their in-laws, their children. Their neighbors, if somebody was sick, they would make kadha and give it to them. They did this 360-degree multitasking, which you learn in MBAs, and after 7 months, they made the world's only indigenous vaccine in the fastest possible time, in the least possible resources. I thought this is the greatest achievement of India, and the world must know about it. Now, like laziness is a habit, excellence is also a habit. And excellence doesn't mean coming number one. Excellence means doing what you believe in. I'll tell you what, this life is like a film. It's a movie. Always see it like a movie. Nothing is permanent. No facts are facts. No data is data after some time. There is no absolute reality. Everything is moving, like in India, in our civilization, we say Maya. It's a movie. You can choose which movie you want to be part of. No facts are facts, I am saying, because if an alien had come to Earth 2 years ago in 2020, the alien would have gone back and said, on this Earth, nobody works. Everybody is lazing around at home watching Netflix, and they just don't do anything. But if the same alien has to come back after 3 years, he would say, people are so busy on Earth that they have no time to talk to anybody. You see, that's why facts are not facts. So if it's a movie, choose your own movie and choose what role you want to play in that movie. Only you have the power to choose whether you want to be hero or you want to be the audience. 99.9% of the world is the audience. The reason is because they're in a bad habit of just sitting and watching things happen. They are just reacting to other performers, other characters. They are saying Elon Musk did this. Nobody knows that you are the Elon Musk, you are the Einstein, and forget Einstein, Elon Musk, you are like your father, like your mother, who can give values to new generation. You are like your teachers, who can cultivate young minds and make them independent. You have that power to change the world. All you have to do is, you have to begin with the smallest possible thing. I say, be a change with your ideas, with your actions, and in the end, you will find discovering something called creative consciousness. And this creative consciousness, believe you me, is that key which is actually lying in your backyard where it's dark. So go in the dark, find your key, and discover your creative consciousness. Thank you.